Hey nobodies, it's me here once again, here with my co-host Mr. Nobody. And as you can see here on the board of cringe, I got the word lame written in big giant letters. And that's because I'm going to be talking about how lame I was as a teenager in this video. Or I guess I shouldn't say was, because that would imply that I'm no longer lame. I'm still lame, I can assure you, I'm very, very lame. It's just that now that I'm in my mid-30s, it's a lot more socially acceptable to be lame. But like when you're a teenager and stuff, you're supposed to be like going out and like partying and, getting drunk and experimenting with drugs and being rebellious. But that's stuff that normal people do when they're teenagers. And I didn't. I did a whole lot of sitting around and doing nothing when I was a teenager because I was pretty much way too socially inept to really do anything else. And I always feel really weird and stuff and kind of, I don't know, out of the loop when I hear other people talk about their crazy teenage years. Because, I can't relate at all. I was in the break room at work tonight, and there were a couple guys in there talking. They went to high school together, and I was kind of eavesdropping. They were just kind of talking about the good old days and all the crazy shit they did when they were teenagers, all the partying, all the drinking. I'm listening, and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, it's definitely what normal people do as teenagers, not me. And even when I watch TV shows or something, I like to watch Cobra Kai. That show's part of the Karate Kid franchise, but Cobra Kai, there's a lot of teenage characters on the show. And all the characters, they're always shown going to parties and having girlfriends and making out and stuff. And it's like, wow, even on a silly fictional karate show on Netflix, that show has a more accurate depiction of the teenage life than my actual teenage life. I mean, when I was a teenager, I mostly just sat around and played video games. I mean, that's pretty much that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. I was too socially inept to do anything else, so I mostly just played GameCube. And you ever notice nowadays everyone talks about how much they love the GameCube and what an awesome system the GameCube is? Everyone loves the GameCube now. But back in the day, everybody used to crap on the GameCube. I remember, I was there at the time. Everyone was like, oh, real men play Xbox and PS2, and the GameCube's a little baby system. And it's just interesting to me to see all these people now be like, oh, the GameCube, it was awesome. It's I guess hindsight's always 20/20 because it's I specifically remember some of these people crapping on the GameCube back in the day. You see, I played the GameCube before the GameCube was cool to play. But it's just funny that even with my gaming preferences, I was even an outcast in that area. But, yeah, besides me playing the GameCube, it was I just remember doing really boring stuff. I went to a Dan Fogelberg concert with my mom and stepdad. And Dan Fogelberg is this soft rock singer from the late 70s. He had a handful of pretty big hits, but I only knew one song by him at the time. It's a song called Longer. I think that as actually his biggest hit. But that's the only song of his I knew. And I just went with my mom and stepdad because I thought, it might be fun to hear him sing that one song that I know live. So I go to this Dan Fogelberg concert, and it was freaking boring. Dan Fogelberg's music sucks. If you have insomnia or anything, throw away your melatonin and your NyQuil, put in some Dan Fogelberg music, you'll be in a coma in no time. Dan Fogelberg's music is the musical equivalent to watching paint dry or watching grass grow. Honestly, I don't even think it's that exciting. It's boring and terrible. His concert was boring and terrible. And what happened was, in the middle of his concert, I fell asleep. And I was asleep for 5 solid minutes. And when I woke up, he had just finished playing the one song of his I knew. He just finished playing Longer. And my mom kind of nudged me. She goes, David, you just missed it. He just finished playing Longer. So It was like, great, I sat through this horrible, torturous concert just to miss out on the one song of his I knew. Dan Fogelberg. He actually passed away a couple years after that concert, which is sad and all. I mean, I don't want to disrespect the man. He's passed on, but his music was awful. And yeah, see, those are my wacky teenage stories. There's no drugs, no partying, no craziness, no rebelliousness. Just playing GameCube and falling asleep at Dan Fogelberg concerts. Hooray! Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, boring teenage years. I mean, it could always be worse, all right? I mean, if the worst you could say about your teenage years is that you fell asleep at a really crappy soft rock concert, I mean, you can't really complain too much. So, but anyway, that's all I got to say in this video, and I'll see all you nobodies later.